Hello. Am I crooked? Can you please like that? Maybe I'm crooked in this video, but that will be fine. Um, we were just going to put our movies that we have bought in our extra house where we keep most of our movies. And we just realized that I had only filmed a haul with the movies that we bought in Ascos, but not the ones we have bought after. And we had already sorted them out. So, yeah, we had to sort them back. So, this is movies we bought. Dels. Why Swedish suddenly? But we bought at Harald Film. It's very nice guy who sells secondhand movies, kind of. And we visited him when we were driving home from Ascos, that I talked about in another movie. Another movie. Oh my god! Again with that. Another video. And we bought some movies there, and then we went to Sci-Fi convention last weekend. Yeah, and bought some movies over there. And we also visited a thrift store in our kind of neighborhood, and we found a lot of kids movies there, or not a lot, but some kids movies. So they are not sorted into where we bought them, because they are sorted into how we are going to, if they're going to be inside or outside, and kids movies. So I'm going to take these. Let's start with the kids movies, and I'm not going to drag on for too long, because there's a lot of movies here as well, and yeah, I haven't seen most of them. But we bought Alla älskar Kalle. It's a compilation of episodes with Donald Duck, kind of. This actually has an English title, I can see now. My husband said it didn't. Everybody loves Donald. I have to look that up. But yeah, just some episodes. It's like an hour. Always fun. Then we have Over the Hedge. Only got this. Usually, when we have kids' movies, they are both with Swedish and English speaking language. Why is that hard to say? But it's also Swedish dub. Not that we watch the Swedish dub, but it's nice to have. If you have kids over to visit, friends' kids or something like that. Of course. But this one is only the English one. I think it's called Från andra sidan häcken in Swedish, but I don't know. Over the Hedge, anyway. DreamWorks. Then we have, I think this was a Danish movie, right? Yeah, I didn't know that. Hjälp, jag är en fisk. It's called like Help, I'm a Fish, I think. Have not seen the others I've shown you either. But yeah, it's a kids movie. Superzebran, and this one is called Racing Stripes. I don't know why it's called this in Swedish. Yep. And then we have Gustav 2 or Garfield 2. I think this was called, because it doesn't say on the back, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, I think. Yep. And then, like I said, in the other haul I did, we have suddenly started to collect these movies. So I found Air Buddies, the first one, not the first one, but the first one in the Buddies franchise. And then we have Angry Birds movie 2. Yay. And then we found this. I didn't know it existed, even though we have the first Pixar shorts, and it's called Volume 1. I didn't realize there was a Volume 2. Stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have seen any of these shorts. I think there are 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12. We have watched the ones in the red edition. But yeah, happy to have this one as well. And Toy Story 3. We have Toy Story 1, 2, and 4. So happy to have this. And that was the children's movies. Now we have some horror movies and other movies that are going to be inside for different reasons. And we have Loch Ness Terror. I think this was called Beyond Loch Ness or something like that. But yeah, I would like to see more movies about Loch Ness and Nessie, because we went to Scotland on our honeymoon and we went on a boat tour on Loch Ness and it was really fascinating. So yeah, more horror movies with that, please. Now we finally found Freeway. This has been recommended so much. It's like a horror version of Red Riding Hood. How intriguing is that? With Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland, and it's directed by Oliver Stone. Yep. Then we have The Survivor. This just got a release from Indicator. So when I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, I recognize that." Yeah, it's about it's horror in the air, or they are in the air and it's horror, and then they are on the ground. I don't know, but exciting. I like that font. It's really weird. Oh, it's directed by David Hemmings. Interesting. You can save those. Another airplane horror movie, Airborne. My husband loves everything that has to do with airplanes except going on them himself. So when I saw there was a horror movie with that theme, I was like, give it to me. Dahmer. I was surprised we didn't have this one. I thought we had, but nope. It's from that era when they made a lot of these movies about serial killers, so I've not watched. Oh, and then we have Bluray. Edge of Sanity. We just watched the Psycho franchise. There is a video. I have done a video where I rank all the Psycho movies. So if you want to watch that, go find it. But yeah, Anthony Perkins looks like when he's in Psycho. So read a little about this, and this is supposed to be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story with Jack the Ripper in, mixed in. So intrigued. Let's put it there. And then we have Campfire Tales. This looks really subpar. I don't know. It's an old DVD. But when I read about it, it sounded really fun, and it's a lot of famous people in it. It's an anthology, so yeah, interesting. Dödens våning. Oh, this was a Spanish movie. I think it's called To Rent or To Lent. No, I think it's To Rent. I don't know in English, but it's called Para entrar a vivir. I don't know. Probably not, but it's spelled like that. It's short. It's just 1 hour. But yeah, it's Spanish, obviously. Then we have Indicator. Satan's Slave. Can I show it? Yeah, they have fixed so you don't see stuff. It's Catherine's birthday. You're invited to her torture party. Ugh, sounds creepy. Yeah. Then we can put it to there. And then we have a BFI, British Film Institute, Die Monster Die, with Boris Karloff. And this is apparently, it's based on Lovecraft's Colorado Space. So now we have 3 movies based on that story, and we haven't seen any of them. Yeah, it intrigued you. Yeah, and the sequel prequel, A Quiet Place Day One. I have seen the first one, thought that was okay, even though I think they make such stupid decisions in that movie. But I haven't seen the second one, and I've heard that this one is supposed to be really good. So yeah. Oh, and then we upgraded our Wicker Man movie, because we had one that was in terrible quality. The movie quality was really, really bad. And it was not a very nice version to watch for the first time. So we upgraded it, and now I'm excited to watch it again. And there's a lot of bonus material in this one. Interesting. And it's the original Wicker Man, of course. Lake Michigan Monster. Black and white new movie from 2018. It's a monster movie, but it's, supposed to be really fun and, make fun of stuff. It's from the same people that brought us, what was it called? 100 Beavers or something like that. We recently bought that one but haven't seen. Lake Michigan Monster, banned in 4 lakes. Yeah, hundreds of beavers, it's called. It says here. My husband always said, read on the front. This one I'm so excited to watch. Good Boy. It's about a dog, and as you have learned, I love dogs. And it's short, which is also something I like. 1 hour and 12 minutes about a dog, and it's supernatural. Haunted house. Yeah, couldn't be more excited about that. Man bites dog. C'est arrivé près de chez vous. Maybe it's French. From 92. No, it's not French. It's from Belgium. But yeah, it's a French title. The category says it's a classic and a black comedy. A classic is not a category of movies. But yeah, they speak French in this one. And then we have Earwig. This story seems so weird. The first sentence on the back is like, the little girl Mia every day gets what's that called? Braces with teeth made of ice. So what? Weird, really weird. It's from Britain, France, and Belgium, and it's new. But it says it's a drama movie, but I don't know. I think it said it was body horror. So we'll have to see. Ooh, then we have a Swedish horror movie that everyone hates, but it still gets this release, Blödaren, The Bleeder. I've heard nothing but terrible things about this movie. It's supposed to be one of the worst Swedish movies ever. It's from 82. But it's still liksom starting to speak Swedish, but it still has its cult following, and yeah, it got a really fancy release now. We bought it without the sleeve, but never mind. Look, it's what's it called? Gene Simmons, I was going to say. Yeah, Gene Simmons. How fun is that? They made him hold a poster for that. Sweden's first horror movie. I don't know. It's probably horrible. It says Blödaren, en rockrysare. The Bleeder, a rock music horror movie, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited to be watching it. I want to make up my own mind about it. Then we have Crypt of the Vampire with Christopher Lee. Everything Christopher Lee intrigues us. It's also called something else, and it's Italian, so I think it has an Italian title, which I can't remember, and I don't think it says. But it's also known as Terror in the Crypt and Crypt of Horror. Couldn't they say what it's called? But it's based on the Carmilla story. So yeah, fun. Can I show this? Yep. A black veil for Lisa. A giallo from the guy who made What Have You Done to Solange, which we really like. But they had made an error on the back of this. It says it's going to describe blood and black lace, but they have written black and blood lace. But really, look. Black and blood lace. That's not what it's called. And then this has been recommended, The Boneyard. I don't remember if it were who it recommended it, if it was because we watch a lot of YouTubers, and it was either Cobwebs or Junkmaster 3. I don't remember, but really intrigued. It sounds like a better version of Pet Cemetery, and I don't like Pet Cemetery, so it can just get better. The dead come alive with a vengeance. Yeah. And yeah. Oh god. I hate when the insert gets screwed up. Please. Like that. We found movie that Radiance has released, and I have tried to look into this movie before to buy it, but it's always expensive, and it's too expensive for a movie that I'm very skeptical about but still intrigued by. I'm sorry, but it annoys me when they are not aligned correctly here. But it's The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. It's so annoying because you want to say Hitchcock, but yeah, The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. I'm both intrigued and a little skeptical about the themes in this movie, but it's supposed to be really gothic, and I would love to see that. So yeah, glad we found that. Now I can put these back. And we also found 3 Woody Allen movies we hadn't gotten before. We have a special shelf for some directors in here. Why do I point? You can't see. But we have one for Woody Allen. And we found Hannah and Her Sisters. We didn't have this before, and that's terrible. So happy to have found that. And then 2 Woody Allen movies I've never heard of, but it's Another Woman. Yeah. Woody Allen. And Interiors. Right. Yeah, Interiors with Diane Keaton as always. It's always Mia Farrow or Diane Keaton. Yeah, that was those movies. Then let's take this weird... Hang on. Okay, these are sorted after category, so we'll see so I don't mix it up. But we have Ninja Mission, The Ninja Mission, and it's a Swedish movie. It's a director called Mats Helge, and I have not seen any of his movies, so I'm not going to say anything because I don't know, but they are notoriously bad. And it's because it's a Swedish movie, but they speak English, and I've heard it's not good English. It's like mine, I guess. Yeah, but it's intriguing, a Swedish movie that's an action martial arts with ninjas and CIA agents and KGB agents. Are they lying? Number 2 on the American cinema 1987. I seriously doubt that, but yeah, intriguing. Word of the day. Yeah, and then we have Belly of the Beast with Steven Seagal. Seagal, I don't know. An action movie. And Half Past Dead 1 and 2. I thought Steven Seagal was in both, but apparently not. And we also found out that number 2 has a higher rating than number 1. Weird. Yeah, number 1 and number 2. Are they on the same disc? No. Interesting. And finally, we have number 1. No, we have number 2, 3, and 4 in this franchise, but not number 1 until now. Bloodsport. I have not seen Bloodsport, but I'm so intrigued too. It feels empty, but yeah, so happy to finally have. This is hard to get a hold of if you don't want to pay like $1 million. This also has Swedish subtitles. That's weird. Yeah, nice. Bloodsport. Okay, so these are action movies. Don't confuse those. Like that. And then we have Blood Simple. It's the first movie by Ethan and Joel Coen. I usually don't like their movies very much, but this is supposed to be a horror movie. No, not horror movie, like a thriller. And the theme is really interesting. So, yeah, this one I could see myself watching. And then we have Spionen som lever 2 gånger. It's really called Jigsaw Man, but Sweden tried to, sell it as a Bond movie. So it's called The Spy Who Lived Twice. You only live twice. The Spy Who Lived Twice. Looks like James Bond. Ridiculous. And The Rainmaker, Young Grissom. I don't know if it's pronounced like that, but we say it like that. I didn't know about this movie. I usually love his movies, movies based on his books. 2 of them I have in my favorite shelf over there, The Pelican Brief and The Firm. So intrigued to be watching this. And then we found Gentle. I'm thinking this is probably a really what's it called? It's going to be really, oh my god, I've lost the word. I was not going to say hard to watch, but it's going to be, emotional to watch probably. Yeah, Random by The Planet of the Future. This was called something else. The Lost Future. And this is like yeah, we are going back to medieval times, kind of. No, more like, the big jungles and deserts and living weird in the future. It's Sean Bean, so yeah. And this is probably terrible, but we love to collect Sinbad movies now, and this is The 7 Adventures of Sinbad. That's not what it's called, really. It's Sinbad and the 7 Seas. Yeah, never mind. Probably terrible, and it's from 2010. The 7 Adventures of Sinbad, yes. Then we have 2 documentaries. It's So Jävla Metal. So Damn Metal. It's about Swedish metal music. Like Joey Tempest in Europe and people like that. And my husband really loves metal music, so yep. Then we have a sequel to another documentary. Big Boys Gone Bananas, and it's a sequel to Bananas. It's about, Dole and stuff. Yep. Then we have a Swedish one. Jakten på en mördare, lögnen. I don't know if this has an English title, but if you translate it, it's called The Hunt for a Killer. The Lie. Apparently, it's a 3-part miniseries, and this only contains part 1 and 2, which we didn't know when we bought it because it doesn't say on the back. So yeah, we can't watch this until we have the 3rd part. Megalopolis. It's Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. It didn't have a great rating, so people don't seem to like this one, but it sounds fun when it's supposed to be New York, but it will look like ancient Rome, it says. There's a lot of famous people in it. And a lot of not so famous people. Yeah, never mind. Interesting. Was it like that? Yeah. And then we have Mansfield Park. It's a Jane Austen movie I have not seen. Like that. And then we found a movie by Giuseppe Tornatore. You know, the guy who made Cinema Paradiso. And it's called Baria. I don't know. That it's called that. Was that the same category? Now I'm mixing them up. That's a comedy. Why? No, it's a drama. It's a drama. Like that. And then we have M.S. Gustloff. It's about that, and it's also called The Ship of No Return, and other names with that in. It's a miniseries. Oh, this also contains a documentary I can see now. Good to know. Mr. Jones. It's a movie with Richard Gere and Lena Olin. That Mike Figgis has directed this. Okay. It's a drama movie. Probably about someone called Mr. Jones. Then we have a Swedish movie. Så olika. Probably called So Different, maybe. It's by Helena Bergström. A lot of famous Swedish actresses and actors are in this one. Yeah. But this is also... Why is not... Okay. Wait. But that's a drama. Okay, never mind. We have to sort these again. Another Swedish comedy, Allt flyter. Oh, this had a very different title in English. I don't remember what it was. Damn. Let's see if Google knows. Google could not help. But if you search for Allt flyter on Letterboxd, it will show up. Skenbart, also Swedish movie, by Peter Dalle. Really famous. It's called... Oh my god, what's this called? Wait. Elusive Tracks. I had to check with my husband. Elusive Tracks. It's a movie about trains. A thriller. It's long, I think. No, it's not long at all. I thought it was really long. No. I think this is called something Swimsuit. Yeah, don't remember. Yeah. 2 movies left. One that I have seen when I was really little, but never found again, and now I found it. Mystic Pizza. In Swedish, it's called Tre tjejer. 3 girls. But yeah, Mystic Pizza, Julia Roberts. Oh, I love this. And you know, they eat pizza. Like that. And the last movie that I haven't seen and we didn't own, which is terrible, but Red Heat. My husband hasn't watched it either. It's one of the few with Arnold Schwarzenegger he hasn't watched. But it's like a classic, so yeah, finally got it. And that was all of the movies. Now we are up to date in our collection and almost passing 10,000 movies. I think we are like 40 away from that. Um, but yeah, that was all, and see you in the next video. Not movie. I was going to say movie, but I didn't. But now I did. Never mind. Bye.